Hey guys, Dylan here with Waller K9. Today I am working with Indy and we are going to show you guys everything Indy knows. He is back on the home front and with his family. So we're going to do a little bit of obedience training today. I do have some food. He is e-collar trained, but we're going to try to make this as positive as possible. Indy, come. Good boy. This is his training board or his place board, and so he knows that a lot of good things happen here. So I'm going to start with the stay progression. Stay. We're just going to take one step, come back, give him some food. One step, come back, give him some food. Stay. Two steps, come back, give him some food. Stay. Three steps, come back, give him some food. It looks like he's going to get off the board, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to nick him when he gets off the board. Alright, and he just felt that, and so just making sure the camera's on. We're on a level 20 right now, and he felt that. It wasn't too much pressure, he didn't vocalize, but the theory there was, Indy, come. Good boy. Up. Good. And so the theory there was, when I tell him to stay, if he gets off the board, stay, he's going to run into that pressure. And so I make sure that it happens immediately as he steps off the board. I don't hold pressure on him, stay. I just touch him with it for a second or two, stay. Now that I have him where I want him, in the sense that he understands stay, he understands release. Okay. Good boy, Mr. Indy. Good boy, Mr. Indy. So, his release of okay, you don't necessarily have to feed him after that because he gets freedom. Okay means freedom. A lot of trainers or some trainers will use the word place. I just use the word up and I point to it. Okay? And then I will mark good when he gets there. So let's go through that. I use yes or good as a marker. So we're going to say, Indy, find it. Indy, find it. Find it. Find it. Hey. Indy. Indy, find it. Good. And then I'll tell him up. Indy, up. Yes. Find it. Find it. Good. Up. Yes. Okay, find it. Good. Indy, come. Good. Indy, up. And stay. So this is going to be a test. Ideally, I don't want to have to lure Indy. We're going to say, Indy, down. Down. So here's some food. This is just part of his progression. Indy, down. Good. Stay. So, he just felt his collar again because he got off. Indy, come. And up. Up. Good. And sit. Good. We're going to go through that one more time since you just cheated. Stay. Haha. Indy, up. Indy, up. Good. So, as soon as he stepped off, I hate to say the timing was great, Indy, up. As soon as he stepped off that first time, the first step he took, it was into pressure. He backed up and got back on the board. And then when he went off the back of the board, he also felt pressure. Stay. Indy, up. Sit. Stay. So as soon as he stepped off again, so we're kind of going through it. I hate to say live. Come on. Come on. Lay down. Sit. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Good. And stay. 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 Okay? Good boy. All right. So we're going to do that one more time. because he beat me. It was like when I took the air in to say okay, he felt it or he got impatient. Indy, come and up and sit. So a little physical manipulation here. Sit. Good. And stay. All right, so he felt that one more time. And I put it on a 25 that time. Indy, up and sit and stay. 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 I almost had what I wanted, but I'm not kind of like rushing the process. We're gonna have to stay on this board. Indy, come, sit, and stay. So I tell him one time, stay. But I have this as backup. So if he gets off, it's important that we have our hand on it so that we can make the timing exactly when it happens. Stay. Now also when he gets up, I come to him. He doesn't get to come to me. So I always put pressure back on him. Stay. Okay? Okay, come. Good boy, Indy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. You did so good. Okay. Awesome. So we kind of had to work through that real time. And so as you can see, when we're working everything positively, I tell him to stay, I come back. I take a step, I come back. I take another step, I come back. And then we say, okay, you know what stay means because you're obviously doing it for food, but now you're gonna get distracted when the food's no longer there. And so when the food's no longer there, you're gonna kind of say, there's not much in this for me, and you're gonna go. And as soon as he goes, we hit him with a little bit of pressure. Boom. And we hit him at a 20. For just 1 second, as soon as he put his foot back off the board, and I closed the distance with my body to get him back onto the board and to replace him in the place that he should have been. All right. Now, then we made the distance further and further and further. It's important that he understands that when he hears his release, okay, he can leave, no pressure's coming. But until then, he needs to sit tight. So a couple of other things that I would like to see, or if we were gonna get him even better, Indy, come. Indy, come on, good boy. Is that we can get him to lay down from a distance. But right now, Indy, come and sit. Down. Is that if Indy doesn't want to lay down, even with food in front of his face, from right here, it's a bit difficult. So I had to pull on his collar. I just grab his collar and pull it down, or put a little pressure on his shoulder blades. Indy, down. Until he collapses. And I said, yes, good boy, stay. Okay. Okay. So Indy really doesn't like his freedom to be taken away. And the freedom that we're taking away is by making him lay down. So when he sits, we take away 2 of his feet, which is a little bit of freedom removed. And then when we take away all of his feet by making him lay down, that's taking all of his freedom away. And he really doesn't like that. Unfortunately, I cut this collar, and I should have kept it because I've been using the tag end of the collar to pull Indy to the floor whenever he doesn't want to lay down, instead of pushing on his shoulder blades. So we're going to show you that Indy knows how to heel. Indy, heel. Little tone. Indy, heel. Indy, heel. Indy, heel. really wants to be real tight to my leg because he knows that's where he's supposed to be. But it does make it a little difficult when I start to try to turn into him. Good. Heel. Good. So to cue this, I tap my leg, just side of my leg here, and when I stop walking, sit. Of course, he took the cake here. Indy, come. Indy, heel. Sit. Good boy. And I usually just rub his tummy here, tell him how smart of a boy he is. Indy, up. Good boy. All right, so here again, I didn't use any collar this time, but when I do use the collar, like when he got off the board for his placement, or when I told him to stay, I didn't use the tone, I used straight stimulation, all right? Which is the numbers showing on the collar, or on the remote. But when I walk with him, I use the tone. And what the tone means is you're moving the wrong direction, you need to get closer to me. So I say heel. When I say heel, he knows if he doesn't get next to me on the left-hand side and I tap to help him out, then he will hear the tone, and the tone leads to stimulation. And the way he can bypass the stimulation is when he hears me say heel, or when he sees me tap my leg, or when he hears the tone of his collar, he gets as close to my left side as possible. And that's sometimes he'll try to lean on your leg just to try to get as close to you as possible. So I taught him this with the leash, and then I taught him it with the remote, with the e-collar. And so I'm gonna demo it one more time, and we will try to go around a couple of these trees just as obstacles. Come on, Indy, heel. Indy, come on. A little tone on the collar. Indy, heel. Come on. Indy, come. Good. He felt a little stimulation that time. Indy, heel. He heard the tone there again. Indy, heel. Okay. So just as a heads up, when I'm walking with Indy, if he's next to me, I'm telling him good boy. But I'm also saying good boy, Indy, heel. So I tell him what I want. I kind of reiterate it. I don't say it a lot, but it'll just be good, Indy, heel. If he gets out of line, it's just heel, Indy, heel. But if he stays with me, I'll give him a good or a yes, good boy, Indy. You know, if you give him too many goods, he'll take you for granted and he'll leave your side. But I don't want him to be too oppressed walking next to me. That's the job of the remote. That's the job of the collar. So if he slips out, I'll tell him heel. But if he's right there with me, I just want to tell him good boy, Indy, you're doing really good. And at the end there, you saw me say, okay. Okay means no more pressure is coming, all right? So he can do whatever he wants, but it's just an indication to him you have all your freedom back and you can do whatever you want now. No pressure's coming whatsoever. And so you'll kind of see sometimes their ears will perk up, or if he was around another dog, they would just go and start playing. But he's just around me right now, and we're out in the middle of nowhere, so you did good, buddy. So we got Indy come, Indy up, Indy stay, Indy lay down, Indy heel. And then the rest of it is just, you can use your collar for no jumping on people, no counter surfing, no stealing food off the ground, nothing like that. So I'm gonna show you that one and we'll see. That was kind of the find it drill, but we'll say sit, stay, stay. Okay? Okay. Find it. Good boy. Find it. Find it. Find it. Andy, find it. Good boy. So I do this one a lot, which is just place or up. Good. Stay. Andy, up. Stay. Okay. 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 Good boy. Indy, find it. Good. Indy, up. Stay. Stay. Find it. Okay. 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 Indy, find it. Hey, Indy, find it. Find it. Good. So, you saw a couple of times there when I released him, he walked around me to go get the food from the other side. It shows me that he knows at some point if I tell him to leave it, then that means that he can't have the food, all right? And he's walking around me to make sure it's okay so I don't put any pressure on him. It's almost like he's coming to me first and around me to make sure that I'm not going to be upset with him for doing what he's doing. So, stay. Indy, come. Good. Indy, come. Indy, come. Indy, come. Good boy. So he heard his tone a couple of times. He was trying to figure out where the safest place to go was, but he ultimately made the right decision, which was to come to me. Okay, find it. Good. And then, okay, find it. Sometimes I'll do this. This is a game of leave it a little bit. Indy, leave it. And when he tries to go for it, I'll pull it. Leave it. Leave it. Okay. Good. So the punishment is the reward leaving his mouth when he tries to get it from me. And so I cue the behavior of leave it. I put the object to his face. If he tries to lunge for it or get it with his mouth, I pull it away. If he does not try to get it with his mouth or eat it, then I say okay, which is his release. We're gonna go through that one more time. Leave it. Leave it. Okay, good. So idea there is he just has to show me some patience. As the game gets better though, I want to be able to push it into his face and have him leave it. Indy, leave it. No, leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Okay, good. So there I pretty much touch him on the nose with it. He didn't move his face away from it, but he didn't try to lick it or anything, and so I made sure of it for a few seconds, and then I said, okay. It's real hot out here for Indy today, but I think that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea as far as what he knows. Leave it is usually always backed up with pressure, not tone pressure, straight stimulation. He's working really good on a 25, but he was working just fine on a 20. And so since we want to use the minimal amount of pressure possible, then we'll just use a 20. The only reason I ramped it up is because he had trouble a couple of times for stay. And so since I wanted him to know that it was gonna not feel so awesome for stepping off the place board, I ramped it up another 5, just so that he would kind of get the idea. Don't step off my place board again, please, because we were on 20 and you found your lesson a couple times, but now we're gonna go to 25. So we're gonna try him out for stay one more time, and then we're gonna end it here. Indy, up. Indy, stay. No. I did not put any pressure on him that time. Stay. Stay. Okay. Good boy. So, last bit here for stay. Animals are predictable. If you go to the same place every time before you say okay, he's gonna read you like a book and he's gonna start leaving when you get there. If you're always walking away from him when you say okay, he's going to anticipate the further you get away from him, you're going to say okay in the next second, or now, or now, or now. So as you saw there, I was walking back towards him when I told him okay, and then after I said okay, I walked away from him, inviting him into the space and clapping my hands. Sometimes I'll be right next to him. Sometimes I'll be far away. Most of the time, I'm right next to him. Sometimes I'm on the way back to him. It's a guessing game, and if it's challenging and he has to think, he'll continue to think. But if he can just read you like a book and anticipate, he's going to start jumping the gun every single time, and it's going to become very frustrating for both you as a handler, a pet parent, and Indy. But if you always switch it up on him, he's always going to be hanging on there listening to your word, or listening for your words, and listening for your cues and telling him what to do. And that's what we want from animal behavior, from puppy dog behavior. So I hope this helps you guys out. It's been a pleasure to work with Indy and work with you guys. And thank you for having me, and thank you for trusting me with your pup. And we will see you guys soon.